Uh, this is recording one for Red Rising Book 3, Morning Star. The last book was way better than the first one, obviously, and the ending was devastating. Our hero was, triumphant, and he has just won Mars, and it looks like, we're going to have this great war, and all of a sudden we get an incredible, twist that one of our best friends, if not our the best friend, has betrayed us, and you know. He has switched sides. And this was being hinted at throughout the last book, but we didn't get it. Uh, and now we get the consequence of it. And the book starts out with, a devastating series of chapters where Darrow is just being put through torture, and you know, and this goes on throughout the book, really, where he is being tested. In the last book, he was like what a goal should be, in theory, and this book, he's much more like what a goal is. In the last book, he was, martial and heroic, and this one, he's much more. You know, much less heroic, much more calculative, much more political. Um, and this is a big part of the book, like revolutions aren't exactly clean. So in the book, they give up the rim territories pretty much, so they can form an alliance with the rim and overthrow the core. And so it starts out with the torture, and then we get introduced to these two characters, uh, which are very consequential throughout the story. We get out, which was an exciting scene, and then once we're out of the prison, and then slowly our characters, Darrow as well as his friends, they slowly evolve, and they're bringing, getting back their power, and they get to the moon of Mars, and then from there they are they're trying to uh, get as much as they can in terms of supporting force. So they first like go back to Mars, and we get a devastating, death for a friend in this one. But we gain even more friends. Uh, we gain friends in terms of a whole army of Greys, not Greys. Uh, very rabid supporters for Darrow, and he becomes the Morning Star, and then they, up and leave to the Rim territory, where we get our final confrontation with a good friend who has now become a great general, and obviously Darrow comes up with a crazy plan and defeats them, and finally we get our big ship from the our friend, and which was formerly known as Colossus and now known as Morning Star. And obviously he also shows off his political acumen and strategic um, acumen, that he destroys the dockyards, making sure that the Rim cannot attack the core once they attack the core as well, and which will have political consequences in the sequel books. But for now, they go back to the core, and it looks like they're going to have a straight fight. But obviously, there's a whole thing with Cassius, getting released, and several dying in quotation marks, and they use this trick to get into the secret chamber of the Sovereign, and they kill her, and it's a great fight at the end. The ending, I would say, is bittersweet, because some friends that we thought that we had lost come back, like Cassius, and some friends that we thought in the beginning, in the Red Rising book, we had thought that going to be with us throughout the journey betray us or go away or die, and it's not a clean ending. Even by the end of the book, the world isn't liberated. It's just, you know. mostly just Luna and a little bit of Mars and a little bit of Earth, I think. Uh, and a lot of fighting is remaining, but our main characters now have the power to make the change. And I'm really excited to talk about the sequel books because they're even more devastating, even less clean, and even better in terms of like the war scenes. The war scenes just dwarf even this Golden Sun book when it comes to like just the sheer magnitude of the deaths and fighting that are happening. So for now, Morningstar, I would say it's the it for my opinion the third best book in the series. People say it's like the in the first trilogy. Obviously, I'm not talking about the other three books. In just these three books that I've talked about on the channel, I would say it's the third best. My favorite is obviously Golden Sun. The momentum, the writing, the pacing, the dialogue, everything in that book was epic. I would have liked if they continued with the whole aristocrat Darrow thing, but they decided to go with a fantastic twist. And I really liked the first book because I really liked the smaller, um, you know, scope of it, and I really liked all the main characters. And it was a devastating book and a horrible setting to be in. But for our characters, that setting is like nostalgic throughout the series, because that's something they want to go back because they was, fighting for their lives, but they were still children and somewhat protected. And it was this fighting was obviously very medieval and very low grade, but I really liked the book, the tension, the dialogue, and just I really liked the part where Darrow was part of the aristocracy, the golden stock, but they had to end it because it was a trilogy. But hopefully, looking forward to the sequels. I have read the sequel books as well, so I'll push out those videos pretty soon as well. So yeah, I know the videos are low effort, but as I go along this channel journey, and I will improve the quality of the videos.